It's time to soothe, groove, and move those hidden innuendos. Hello, and welcome to the program. My dear Rachel, thanks for being here with me tonight. Here's a toast not only to you, but to your late husband. So thinking of him, appreciate both of you. And here's to the next guy that's going to come and sweep you off your feet. Cheers to you. Well, you did mention on your profile, and I'm going to embarrass you for a little bit here, because just for a little bit. It's fun embarrassment. But you are looking for someone who is career driven. I get that. A lot of men should be career driven, especially at this age. But what happens if they're in the transition of, you know what, I did this job for about 10 years. I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I want to do something else. But I don't have the income right now. However, I matched with you. I like you. We've gone on some dates. I want you to know that I'm in it to win it. But right now, my career path is kind of up in the air. It's meandering not to the point to where it's a straight line. But are you okay with that comfortability, knowing that, like, he's going to get there eventually? But right now, I'm going to support him emotionally, but not financially. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely, for the right guy. I was for my late husband.
Yeah.
He changed gears in the middle of all of it. And then at the end of it, he ended up helping me run my company. And he ended up onboarding with us. So that is something. And he was helping me run my marketing agency, and he was out there and enjoying it. So yes, that's it.
So anything's possible. Yeah. What about right now? What's going on with you in your dating life?
I'm going out on dates.
You're not going on dates?
I said I'm going out on dates. It's been a couple weeks. But
That doesn't sound like it's confident. Okay, on average, every month, how many dates do you go on?
Hasn't been that many lately, but before this month, it would probably be 8 or 9 a month.
Okay, it's not bad. And any of these guys, have you had like a second date with them?
Not many.
But what is it though? Okay, I hear this a lot, and I want to reverse the role here, because I hear that we went out, we had a good time, there's just no energy. But like, what is it though? Like, what's missing with these men that they don't have that spark? Like, what is it that they're like, is it the missing spark plug that's just not igniting them to where they're like, yes, this guy's got some fire in me? Like, is it an attraction? Is it a physical trait? Like, what is it that women keep saying, he's great, but like, why do I keep hearing the but? Because again, I want to help these guys. These guys are a little frustrated too. And I understand women are, but we got to help these men too, because these men need some love.
I've had some dates where I've had men stare at the window instead of me during dates. And so it was hard to make a connection with them because they weren't connecting with me. There's very little questions back to the females. They're not asking me questions about me, where I am asking them about them. And I realize I meet more people than the average person.
Right.
But they don't ask questions back or seem like they're engaged. It's questions back, or about what's going on, or my interest, or what's going on with me, or then hearing an answer and then being able to engage with a follow-on question. A lot of that's missing. Or I don't know if they're not awake enough during it, but there's still that going on. So poor manners. That's one that's automatic. No.
What is that? Like, what's the poor manners? Like, what do you mean by that?
One, if you're going out to a nicer restaurant, pulling out chairs, doing that type of stuff, we're going back to old school opening doors type of things like that. Women still like that. Not seeing a lot of that nowadays. And so I'm new to this like whole dating cycle, because it's been a long time since I've dated. But that's been something that I haven't seen. I like actual eye contact, having a conversation with me, being engaged with it, and being in that moment where you feel that they're excited or wanting to be there. That's been missing a lot. So that's been part of it with that spark. Definitely when you see each other, most of the times women walk into the date about 5 seconds in, we know. We're going to have a second date or we're not.
What does that mean though? Like, I hate it when I hear that 5 seconds we know, but you don't know though. How can you know within 5 seconds if that guy is going to be with you for 5 months?
You can normally read a guy walking up. You'll see in his face in a couple of seconds. One, is he engaged? Does he want to be there? How many times have you been able to walk up to a female and you go, oh, she's not interested, or this isn't really good for me? You see that.
I'm not trying to brag. But that has probably happened maybe once or twice. Because here's what I think is that if you match the profile, if your face looks right with the picture, right? If your attitude, which by the way, attitudes need to be adjusted, people. It needs to be adjusted. I'm getting sick and tired of, well, I'm just not excited to go on a date here. People need to get excited. We need to start changing our mindset about this and stop looking forward to the after date. And that means going back home, put on your sweats and put on Netflix. You chose this person for a reason, right? You matched with this person for a reason. You exchanged numbers. You set a time and a place for a reason. You got dressed up for a reason. So why in God's goodness name are you trying to find an exit strategy within 5 seconds?
And so I can just tell when I'm walking up to a guy, normally I look like my pictures. I sound like whatever I'm supposed to sound like whenever I walk in. And then it's just like they can't keep up having the conversation. That's a problem.
Do you think it's nerves though? Because when they see a beautiful woman at the bar and they're like, wow, this is the girl I'm going to go out with. Like, yeah, that can be a little nerve-wracking for a man knowing like I'm a little intimidated because I see this beautiful woman that I'm actually going to share an hour, half an hour, whatever. So yeah, maybe there are some nerves involved.
Could be that.
So can you change it from 5 seconds to like an hour and just kind of gauge it and see how it goes?
I try, but I've been on enough dates now at this point where these guys are like, you tell just going into it. I'm like, oh, here we go.
I'm still confused by that.
I'm so sorry. I wish I had a better answer, but there's just like this instinct that you just know. Are we going to do business or are we not? And you could just tell it's sort of one of those things. Are we going to get along and are we going to have the right matching energy?
I've actually seen some pictures. I've done some homework on Texas Finest. And I have to say, I'm not impressed. I'm sorry, men of Texas, but I'm not impressed at all. Because again, I've heard some stories from other guests who are from Texas, and I've seen some pictures. I'm like, what? Like, really? I don't know if it's like the guys from California who migrated to Texas and just started doing these selfies, but it's out of control.
It's bad. So I've even joked around with my team because I have copywriters, I have photographers. I was like, I'm going to fix the Houston dating area and try to at least fix the dating profiles and go through that and do those. But there is so much work. There's only so many pictures of fish or god awful bad tattoo pictures with the bathroom selfies in disgusting bathrooms that I can take.
Yeah, I don't understand. I get women taking selfies. That's okay. Like, I think all men should allow women taking selfies because that's just kind of part of the flattery of a picture for a woman. But for some reason, when I see men post selfies, guys, don't stop doing that. It's really, really it's putting you in a bad spotlight.
You just need to learn camera angles. You can still take a good selfie and be a guy. You need to, men get so squirmish about, I don't want to do this. I don't want to invest in my looks. I don't want to do this to make myself look better. You are selling your product. You are selling yourself because you want to have a good-looking female, a good-looking, someone who is up to whatever your standards are. You to approach yourself as someone who deserves to be with somebody at that standard to attract that. And there are a lot of gross photos. I can't see one more guy taking the low selfie, this type of a thing. It's very creepy for us women. It's terrifying, actually. And then all of the don't date him groups for the Houston area, it's like a barrage. We see all of the pictures for all these other men as we're, reviewing or seeing what's going on or, who's dangerous in the area. The scary tattoos that they've got, and I have tattoos, don't get me wrong. But the way that they're posing themselves to show them off in the dirty bathrooms and the rooms they're doing them in, Texas definitely needs a little bit out there, but I think that's across the board. At least I believe it's across the board. Tony, it's across the board.
It is across the board. Yeah. All over the world. Yeah. Don't worry. I've heard that.
It's a cultural issue we have going on here now.
I'm actually kind of curious to know, because I know I've seen a lot of my guests have their types, but I'm kind of curious to know, What is Rachel's type? I want to hear you paint me this pretty picture of what Mr. Rachel looks like. Can you do that for me? Pretend I'm like a sketch artist. Pretend I'm like a date sketch artist, and here I am going to draw this amazing man for you.
About what he looks like, or about like
what he looks like, personality?
I mean, it is definitely. I want somebody's personality to kind of match with mine, and so I am still trying to figure out what this new version of me is like. Because after being a widow and having like everything around me, and then I'm rebuilding it kind of up. I'm still figuring out what this is going to look like for me and what I'm going to do, what I keep calling the back nine of my life, what that person's going to look like to match that. What do I want in them? Because what I wanted as a 20-year-old is completely different now as a 40-year-old.
Love it. Okay. So are we okay with the possibility of maybe relocating or having a long distance relationship with a guy?
Absolutely.
You're okay with it? Okay. Wow. Why? A lot of women are okay with that, but a lot of men are not. For some reason, like women are okay with the long distance, but men are not. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's probably because of the compatibility or they want that physical body next to them all the time?
The physical body next to them, and women are okay with creating that emotional connection first.
Shouldn't that be the other way around?
Absolutely. I mean, you need a little both, but to fly to see each other. I've done long distance relationships. In fact, my 3 major ones in my life, that's how they've all started, was long distance. So I'm completely open to it. Obviously, it's how it works for me.
Okay. All right. So how far? Like, I'm just kind of, again,
I mean, I've done different time zones, so it just really depends.
Oh, that's not that much, but okay. All right. I'll get you on this one. But so you want someone to match you, but what is your love language though? I'm just kind of curious. What's your primary love language? Let me guess. Do you mind if I guess? Can I guess?
Please.
I'm going to say, I'm going to go with 2. Here we go. Ready?
Okay, good. Because it is 2.
I'm going to say physical touch and words of affirmation.
Yes. Yeah, they're good ones. I think you do need to tell your partner when you care about them, things that you need to tell people. We hear so much bad stuff all day long. And it's so nice to have your person be your home base, your safe spot. That you can have those types of conversations with, that they've got your back, that they're cheering you on. I need that. And that I'm very affectionate. I grew up in a super affectionate family. So that means a lot to me. So quality time, love it, but it's fine with being in 2 different spaces. I run a busy business. I'm a mom. I have 2 little kids, they're twins. They're running around. I'm constantly busy. So that's, the start off ones that everybody else goes to. Those are my 2.
Yeah. And are you okay with dating a guy who's got kids? Like, what is your preference? Kids or no kids?
I am. No, I am. I've been a stepmother before. So I was stepmom to a teenager and to a little boy who's the same age as my twins.
The reason why I ask is because I know a lot of people who are in that single parent category. They often like to find someone who doesn't have kids because it's one less schedule to worry about. I don't know if you ever heard about that, but it's kind of like the schedule conflict is...
Well, there is a schedule conflict because they put mom and dads on separate ones.
Yeah.
It's a little bit challenging to try to find dates at first. So you have to actually put effort into it. But once you start blending the family, there's more people to love. It can be harder. There can be challenges with the kids. But you get more to love.
Yeah, but what happens if you do match with this amazing guy and your schedules don't match and you're like, all right, it's been 2 weeks. We've been talking on the phone, but there's really been no action. Not because you both don't want to. It's just because your time, your schedules are just not aligning correctly. How much time are you going to give each other? You're going to say, hey, let's give like another 2 weeks or a week. Or you're going to say, you know what? It's been great talking with you, but I need to find someone that is really going to take the initiative and just say, you know what? I got my parents watching the kids tonight. I know you don't have the kids tonight, but let's go and just meet and get this out of the way and just see if we got a connection.
I mean, that would be the right answer to me. But how much time for the right person? You can wait.
You're so patient. You sound very patient.
Yeah.
You are. That's an amazing trait, by the way.
Just because if something's going to be right, you have to be patient for something. Or you're just looking to fill a void. Are you looking for the right person or to fill a void? That's a big understanding on who the person is and what they're looking for at that moment.
You got to teach more of these people some more patience. Because in like California, there is a time limit. I feel like there is a time limit. It's a very, very short fuse. And I think it's more like a 3-day. Yeah, it's crazy.
Half of California has moved here to Texas. I can see these attitudes right now. Absolutely.
I can't take blame for that. I have nothing to do with that.
Your people.
And you're not far from Houston, right? Because I looked it up on the map. So the Woodlands, I love how it's called the Woodlands. It's not Woodlands. It's called the Woodlands.
It is the Woodlands. It is actually the #1 city to live in the United States right now. It's been voted the best community to live in. Multiple years running.
Is it because of you? I think it is.
I think so.
Yeah. I think it just added more equity for that place. So.
This stay-at-home mom that just lives on her computer all day long. I'm working hard for the city.
I know that the city of Austin is ranked number 5 in dating. I'm kind of curious to know what is Houston? Because you're not far from Houston, so I'm wondering, I don't know.
I mean, I'm 3 hours away from Austin.
Well,
you got to remember the size of Texas is
small. Small state.
I mean, you're over there in California, of course you're going to say that. But yes.
If you match with a guy from Houston and you're in the Woodlands, are you going to meet him halfway? Are you going to have him come out to you?
I have. I've gone all the way into Houston. I've had some bad dates inside Houston that I've driven an hour in for.
So you would be willing to drive 3 hours for a guy? Wouldn't you want him to come out to you?
I do.
If there was a guy in California and a girl in California, I guarantee you they would not match. If it was a 3-hour distance, they wouldn't even take the time. But it's just too far. Because proximity is key here, unfortunately. Even for someone in myself who's like in Orange County in LA, that's still relatively far, even though it's very close, even though it's only 45 minutes away. It's more becoming like a Seinfeld episode now, to where like you're finding excuses not to date that person. Right? Like she had man hands, or like she just kept sniffling, or he's a bad tipper. Like it's just like we're nitpicking like negative parts of this person.
My late husband, I remember when I met him, he had on a motorcycle vest, which I had no idea. I was like, that's a cute little Boy Scout thing you got on. What is that? But he came with like things that I was like, what are we doing here? Like, this isn't. But the conversation was good. Everything that we discussed, there was so much energy between the two of us. And we were married within 11 months of dating. And it was a powerful, everything just matched up. Some of that small stuff, it really doesn't matter. That's the things that you're going to end up missing. I can tell you, being a widow, some of those little bitty things of the stuff that I used to do that drove me crazy is the stuff that I miss the most. So keep finding excuses for all that different type of stuff. It was just little bitty things that would drive me crazy, but I loved them.
Do you think that like weddings are going to be a thing of the past now? Like marriage is going to be a thing of the past?
And so I hope not. I like going to dance and like do all that fun stuff and get to see their families enjoying each other and just all the fun stuff that goes along with it. I hope not.
Like
Can we just start doing on divorce parties, like fun divorce parties where everybody just like gets fun and celebrates and we all bring our like single friends? That's what I'm going to start pushing for. Is divorce
Maybe
parties.
That should be an app now. We should develop an app about dating at divorce parties. Roll with it. All right. So men of the Woodlands and also men of Houston here. I've got an amazing girl in front of me, by the way. Rachel, she's looking for a guy. If you're 5'6.5" and taller, amazing. You've got to match your personality, which is bubbly and amazing, by the way. She's looking for that type of 5'6.5" Ryan Reynolds. If you got a guy who has that type of personality, that look, please go and find this girl. She loves to find a guy that she can work out with. But here's the thing that we actually didn't even brush on that I wanted to talk to her about. Is that she is looking for an honorable gentleman, career-minded, especially good with kids, and not looking to rush into a relationship. That's exactly what you want to do.
They were like, I want kids. I want to get married. I've done that. I want to get to know somebody. I want to date somebody. I want to find somebody I can bring to business award shows because I go to a lot of those and networking things. And I want to have a person that's fine with coming with me. That's, I'd like my person to be able to go from dressed up from Market Street where we're going out to a nice dinner, or we, slumming it on the couch with Netflix.
Men of Texas, find this woman, by the way. Find her. She is something else. She is smart, successful, beautiful. 2 twins with a birthday this weekend. But if you do match with her, I want you to be respectful to her. Like, be amazing to her. Treat her like a woman. Treat her like a queen. If there happens to be a song that helps you soothe or groove or move on your good or bad days, tell us what's the name of that song.
I am the crazy person that, like, I cook dinner every night. And so I've got a Spotify playlist. I love to dance and cook. And so my music's going, the house is rocking, the kids are dancing. Like, I like to throw down and dance all the time. So normally it's got to be something to make me dance. I mean, Sabrina Carpenter is constantly rolling in his house right now. So I like to dance. And so we're doing a lot of that right now.
Okay.
So we've been on those.
What's your favorite song? Because I know my daughter loves, what was it? Cappuccino?
Oh, I like that one.
Espresso?
Espresso.
Whatever that's called.
Espresso is fabulous. I love part 2.
Well, hopefully we'll find that guy that's going to be joining those dance parties with you.
That'd be wonderful.
I really appreciate you being with me tonight. Thank you.
This has been so much fun. I'm so glad you reached out.
I'm sending you to because it's so great to see you. And we'll find that guy for you.